Howdy, if you're watching this video, you may be trying to fix a refrigerator like this. This is a LG Studio model. The ice dispenser no longer worked. So when you press this with your cup, nothing came out. So that's where I was. Found out the switch was bad. Was able to remove this panel, fix it, get it all back together. So like I said, LG Studio. It's kind of where you knock on it. Kind of cool. In this video, you will see how to repair this, take these parts off, get it all back together. Today I'm working on my refrigerator. It stopped producing water and ice when you pushed, your hand on the button there, and I've searched everywhere on YouTube and couldn't find anybody with this exact problem. I'm dealing with an LG Studio. It's only about 3 years old. There's the model. That makes a big difference. The big thing with this was no one showed how to pull this panel off. All the ones I saw had the controls on the side. Mine has the control on the top. And I got it about halfway out and really thought I was going to break it. So as you can see, I'm already kind of in there. So I'm going to go in reverse to show you what happened. And this is the initial thing that came off the control panel here. So getting that out was pretty tricky. There's two tabs here at the bottom that you can see there, where my thumb is right here. So I was able to get a screwdriver in there and pop the bottom part out, and then just with my fingers and I kind of had a plastic spreader, which is really tough. So this, I kind of wedged it under there and just kept prying and pulling, and really thought I was going to just break this thing. But you can see there's tabs here and up top. 1, 2, 3, you can see in there. So they all seem to pop out. None broke. There's a couple on the side, 2 on the side, and 4 total on the top. So that thing came out all right. This is where the actual dispenser part was. And this is the lever that you push when it had a spring on it. This was kind of tricky to get out. But anyway, I'm going to start putting it back together. The micro switch goes right in here. The one that I took out looks like this. Okay. So you're gonna screw it in with that screw that I left there. It's gonna go in that hole. And you're going to plug these two things in here on the side. And then this actuator, when you push that metal plate down, a little stick thing goes in here and it just pushes against that and trips this. And that closes the circuit so that electricity can flow through here. Closed circuit flows, open circuit means it's like the wire's broken. Anyway, I'm hoping this is the problem, and it might not be. So what I'm going to do first is take the new one that I ordered. This looks like this. It wasn't the exact one, but it said it would be a match. So I'm going to take that off, wire it up here, and put it in. I'll do that and then I'll come back. Okay, the new switch is in. That was really easy. Took just a couple seconds. Really just tighten this one screw. Don't over tighten it. All this stuff's plastic. So like I said, when the panel pushes, it's going to push that little switch. The reason it pushes that little switch is this piece of plastic here. You can see when it goes in, it makes it go up. Okay, and don't forget this little spring. Okay, the next thing to do is to put that lever back on here. And what I did was what you got to do is get these top tabs in there first. And I'll just start with one side, and then you can kind of press the bottom tabs in from the side. Just one of them, squeeze them with my finger. I kind of pushed on those with a screwdriver. Once I got one side on the bottom off, then I kind of moved it over and got the other side. Luckily I didn't break anything. I was just really gentle with it. Okay, I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, I got the panel back on. It was a little tricky, it's really blind. Those two tabs that were on the top are right up here. Like I say, you kind of just work one side in and then get the other side. And what I found was that the tabs on the side clipped in when I was doing that, and I had the spring out, so I had to kind of push in both, put one side and then work the other, and then I was able to get the spring in there with my finger. So now I have a spring-loaded panel, and my new switch is right here. And I think I'm going to see if I can test this to see if it works before I put it all back together. Also, I saw other people say you didn't have to mark these things because they're all different sizes. But I took a Sharpie and I marked them all because, a couple days later you're looking at this going, what's up? So that's what I do, just a little extra. So now I just need to find number 2, etc. Get this panel on first before the big panel goes on. Okay, you can see here I've hooked up all the harnesses, but didn't actually install anything yet because I figure I can push this to see if ice comes out. This inner piece gets held on with just these 4 screws. Then the control panel pops in, and maybe I'll film when I do that so you can see how that happens. This is pretty straightforward. You got that. Okay, bummer, my initial test didn't work. And when I pulled the pad back off, this thing that I'm sure pushes this thing. See, now I hear the motor, which means it's working. But this goes in and pushes against that, and for whatever reason I had it lined up wrong. So rather than buy another one of these, I think I'm gonna try to epoxy this on, because that's how I roll. I think the amount of play in this actuator arm here made it drop down. So when the plate went in, instead of this going under there like it's supposed to, it was probably hitting right on it. So I'm not really sure. I gotta hold this up somehow, get this thing under it when I put it back in. Thinking maybe I wedge a little piece of a toothpick or something in here to hold it, and then once I do it, it'll just fall down in here. Okay, this is the next day. I was able to get an epoxy on there out in the garage, and actually feels pretty strong. I don't want to test it too much, but I need to try to get it in there to get this under. It has to go underneath that lever there. You can see this, and when this gets pushed in, that part goes under this and pushes the button. So I kind of hooked the panels up yesterday and found out that this does work. So it was a switch. So I'm happy about that. I'm not happy about this, and I looked online to see if I could buy another one, and I couldn't find one. So I'm going to try to get this thing in there. I also noticed that these go over, so maybe I can get the bottom part down first. And like I said, I might wedge a little piece of wood or something right there just to hold this up as high as I can so that I ensure that this part here fits under that white part. Wish me luck. Okay, I just broke off a toothpick, and you can see that it's holding it up And when it first goes off, that's just gonna fall down there. Perfect. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. I just now popped those two top tabs in, and the bottom is still out. I just don't know if you can see this or not. I can see it when I get way down here, but my tab, that gray thing, is below. See that pointed thing? It is below the bar arm right now. So now I just got to get these feet, this thing you see on the left, inside there. All right. I managed to be able to push those tabs in, kind of using a screwdriver and just being real careful. But I think I got it, because I can hear the switch. So that is awesome. So now I just hook all this back up. I'll put the panel on. I'll show you how to do it, and then I'll push in the other panel too. I got every wire connected to another wire. And at this point, yeah, I'm kind of glad I marked them because it's pretty confusing. But make sure that this gob of wires comes through this hole, because if it's around the edge, you're not going to be able to get this on. Let's see if yeah, so it's set on ice. You can see the light there. So let's do a test. Grab a glass. And see if I can get some ice. Hell yeah. All right. Dad says cheers. Okay, I've started the panel. You can see how the wires come out here. I'm gonna make sure you're not blocking the ice thing back there. I started this screw in just with my finger to get it tight. Now I just do the other three. Okay, panel's in. Now this panel has to go on. And like I said, you gotta start from the top. Get these four ones here in the top in, and then from there, boom, boom, just push down and make sure you don't catch on the button down here, because it's very, very close tolerance. Okay, I'll do that now and show you how that is. But like I said, the beginning of this video was how the heck do you get this thing off? And that was the hard part. But feeling good now. Okay, the top end popped in, no problem. You just got to really kind of go straight. And now I'll just push in the rest. And like I say, you want to be cautious when you're coming around this one. You don't want to touch that, all right? All right, if you made it this far, I'm right back where I started. Like I said, my initial problem was getting this thing off. And even getting it on is kind of a bitch. It's just tricky. Really hard along this top edge to get that out, but it's doable the way I showed you. You're gonna stick the two, the screwdriver under here, pop the bottom out, work the edges up slowly, and then kind of, like I said, get it a little more straight, tuck the bottom in, and then pull straight out. Kind of helped that I had that piece of plastic, that real hard scraper, and I was able to get it in there to help me. All right, chalk this one up to Dad. Got her in, got her done, everything works fine. Have this one, you should know how to work it. Ice, water, regular ice cubes, refrigerator's all done. Let's get some ice. And some water. Cheers to that. Got it back in. Wasn't easy, but you could do it. You keep trying. Anyway, Dad you never had here. Gonna end with a dad joke. So you gotta tell your kid. Of course, you got the thing in your hand. Hey, what is that? I don't know, Dad. What is it? It's a dead one of these. Ah!